Hello, everybody. I have an announcement. The podcast is moving to Spotify. I'm not going to be an employee of Spotify. We're going to be working with the same crew, doing the exact same show. The only difference will be it will now be available on the largest audio platform in the world. Nothing else will change. Thanks.
Joe Rogan, the king of podcasts. I'm personally a massive fan of his, but it seems that Joe has been having a few problems since taking that Spotify money. And no, I'm not talking about his horrendous new studio. I mean, just look at the old studio. It screamed man cave, was spacious, well lit, it was perfect. But now, Joe Rogan looks like he's trapped inside a toaster. Seriously, just look at the progress picture he posted on his Instagram of the set being built. How did they screw it so badly? The unfinished set looks better. But that aside, as a fan, I was happy for Joe Rogan. Hearing the Spotify deal, hearing he was gonna make bank off Spotify was cool, especially because Joe assured us that nothing would change and Spotify would have no creative control over his podcast and it would just be business as usual, but he's just on Spotify now. On Instagram, when he announced the deal, the caption read, "Announcement, the podcast is moving to Spotify. Starting on September 1st, the podcast will be available on Spotify as well as all platforms. And then at the end of the year, it will move exclusively to Spotify, including the video version. It will remain free. It will be the exact same show. It's just a licensing deal, so Spotify won't have any creative control over the show. They want me to just continue doing it the way I'm doing it right now. We will still have the clips up on YouTube, but full versions of the show will only be on Spotify after the end of the year. I'm excited to have the support of the largest audio platform in the world, and I hope you folks are there when we make the switch." It sounds like a win-win for everyone. Joe Rogan gets a fat bag, we get to listen to his podcast still, and there's nothing being made, no changes. Spotify are going to be hands off, leave the podcast, let Joe Rogan just be himself. They're signing Joe Rogan and that's it. Spotify employees demanding direct editorial oversight over Joe Rogan's podcast before they're published. For God's sake. We can't have anything nice these days. A group of Spotify staffers are now reportedly pushing to introduce direct editing oversight over the Joe Rogan Experience before the episodes go live. That includes content flags, trigger warnings, references to fact-checked information, or simply refusing to publish an episode at all. The demands follow a string of controversial comments by Joe Rogan, who was lured to Spotify in a massive $100 million deal. Rogan's appeal to millions of listeners is his unfiltered and irreverent approach, though that style isn't sitting well with an activist group of Spotify staffers who say he needs to be reined in. Spotify staffers are now stepping up their demands to control more of Rogan's content. Vice first reported that Spotify employees have conducted more than 10 meetings to discuss possible changes. Those discussions included proposals for the outright removal of additional podcast episodes. This has reportedly gone all the way to the top, though Spotify CEO Daniel Ek appears to be pushing back. From a business standpoint, the reason is fairly obvious. Rogan's audience like his direct, unedited style and could quickly abandon the comedian podcaster if he's edited. So Spotify signed Joe Rogan because he's wildly successful, the king of podcasts, and now employees at Spotify want to edit and censor Joe Rogan because they don't like how he does his podcast? Yeah, that's pretty fucked. I'm so glad the CEO realizes what a disaster this would be. If this was to happen, it would be completely absurd. You sign Joe Rogan, you know what you're getting when you sign Joe Rogan. Trying to change Joe Rogan is possibly the worst thing you could do. And your employees who think that this is the way to go clearly do not understand the business at all. Wait, don't worry, there's more. Spotify employees are now allegedly planning a full-blown strike if the company refuses to censor Joe Rogan's content. Spotify started and is known as a music platform. So are these employees now going to be up in arms against every song that their lyrics they disagree with? This is just such a slippery slope if Spotify let this happen. I'm sure we can all agree, everyone watching this, that this is not a good thing and would set a horrible precedent. This is new information. Some of the group's demands have already been met by Spotify management, though a refusal to allow further changes is stirring talk of a high-profile walkout or strike. According to preliminary plans shared with Digital Music News, the strike would principally involve New York-based Spotify employees and would be accompanied by protests outside Spotify's Manhattan headquarters. Other aspects would involve media appearances and coordination with other activist organizations. So we're in a pandemic, people are losing jobs left and right, and these employees are going to strike and walk out because they can't censor Joe Rogan, who Spotify actively brought over to their platform. I hate the world. I just hate the world. And to me, as a longtime Joe Rogan fan, seeing him grow so big is insane. You know, I'm a big UFC fan too, so I've known of Joe Rogan before a lot of people who are just fans of the podcast. And it's so weird to me that he's getting this treatment. I know he has such an insanely large audience. Of course, he has a massive influence. But for me, I only take his podcast as him chatting shit and having a laugh since, you know, he is a stand-up comic who also likes to get high before and during shows. I never took Joe Rogan as a news source or someone to get my facts off. Like, the amount of times I've just sat there and Joe Rogan said something and he's probably got something wrong or said something dumb. For example, when Bill Burr went on and Joe Rogan said wearing masks for COVID is for bitches.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you, though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this bullshit. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up better than the CDC. Thing that you were doing, like being courteous.
Bitches.
Being courteous. Why is this for bitches? That was so
You're wearing a
stupid.
mask. First of all, it's
Oh,
not-
God, you're so tough with your fucking open nose and throat. Gee, Joe, and your 5 o'clock shadow. This is a man right here. A man doesn't wear a mask.
Do I agree with what he's saying? Absolutely not. But it's Joe Rogan and Bill Burr, two comedians having a conversation, and it's funny. I'm on Bill Burr's side of the argument, but the whole conversation is just entertaining and funny. I don't think Joe Rogan apologized for saying that. As far as I can remember, I've never really seen Joe Rogan apologize for much until the other day. On Instagram, Joe Rogan put out an apology because he got something wrong in his podcast, which is very out of character for Joe Rogan. He doesn't make apologies. I've never really seen him make an apology. I don't think it's a coincidence that has happened after the Spotify deal, and many other people in his comment section don't believe so either. Even Joey Diaz doesn't think so.
What do you think about our buddy putting an apology today?
Who?
Did you see Joe
Rogan, but
put
he
the
got a
apology-
fact
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
Poor Joe Rogan. He put the apology up. They would tell him go. He was. That's hard for my dog.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to him. He had to put an apology up and shit.
I guess he.
Things were good when he was. Things were good in the basement, dog. Once you take that Spotify money, you got to start apologizing.
So this is his apology.
Hello, everybody. I need to make an apology and a retraction. I said something on the podcast with Douglas Murray about people getting arrested for lighting fires. And I got duped. It's wrong. There was one guy who got arrested for lighting fires somewhere else, and someone sent me something about people getting arrested for lighting fires in Portland. And I said it without looking into it. It's very irresponsible. I didn't check. I made a mistake. I f***ed up, and I'm sorry if I duped you as well. There's nothing I can do about it now. It's out there, but it's definitely a mistake. My apologies. And I will take this into consideration, certainly, when I say things in the future. I know it feels very irresponsible of me. I don't take it lightly. I'm very upset with myself. And I apologize to you as well. Sorry.
I don't know about you or me, but it's just so weird seeing Joe Rogan apologize. And again, I'm not a political guy. I have no idea about American politics. All I know is I have heard Joe Rogan get worse things wrong and say worse things. And this is what he's apologizing for. It just surprises me. I always thought it would take something insane to make Joe Rogan apologize. But I can't shake the feeling that Joe Rogan would not have done this before the Spotify deal. I really don't think he would have. I think before this deal, he would have just ignored it. He wouldn't have apologized for it. He might have corrected it in some way, but no way does he make this video on Instagram. I can't see it. And that is the thing. The deal was worth over $100 million. You would have to be stupid to think it is just this licensing deal with no clauses, nothing from Spotify in the small print saying things that they can do and can't do. It is so much money. so much money. The contract would have been insane. More money, more problems, and it seems that is the case right now for Joe Rogan and his podcast. And the question remains, will this be worth it for Joe? You know, if this is the controversy at the start, maybe it'll cool down. Maybe Spotify will back off. If they're smart, Spotify will just back off, let Joe Rogan do him, let him do what he does best and why he is so successful. I just hope this gets squashed. I hope this gets sorted out. Obviously, I'm going to still keep listening and watching, but what is happening, I found interesting. This video idea came about, just me and my friends in a bar. We're just talking about it and we saw these articles and I was like, that'd be an interesting video. I'm sure other people have the same opinion or don't. If you do, let me know down below. Please like the video if you enjoyed. Like the video if you think at the moment the Spotify deal seems to have a bit too much baggage for your liking. If not, leave a like because you don't like the new studio. I know a lot of people don't like the new studio. Please subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this where we cover topics like Joe Rogan, we covered Ellen, James Corden, YouTubers, everything. We cover the lot here, so subscribe if you like the content. My Instagram at Kavos.yt, the best place to contact me. If you have anything to say about a video, want to talk to me about your opinions on a video I've made, like this video, DM me on Instagram. My DMs are open. Follow me on Instagram too. My Twitter at KavosYT as well. The best place for all information post video, the sequel to this video. If you want information and updates on Joe Rogan on my Twitter account, make sure you follow it. The sequel to the videos. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, fuck off.